Hello and welcome to the two-man power trip of wrestling. I'm your host, JP John Buzz. With me today, two very special guests, two-time former WWF Tag Team Champions. You might know them as Southern Justice, Tex and Shangai, or of course, the Godwinns, Mark Cantebury and Dennis Knight. Welcome to the two-man power trip. How you guys doing?
Thank you.
What
Good.
up?
What up? I like the name.
Nice, thank you. So, of
Yeah.
course, talking about Baltimore Celeb Fest, you're coming in with David Hughes and David Hughes Promotions. Huge show on March 21st. It's the 7th annual Celeb Fest down there in Baltimore. I guess we'll start with Mark, since you're up top with me. What do you think
There you
about
go.
coming in to Baltimore? Somewhat of an old stomping grounds for you.
Oh my God. I was thinking about today because I remembered we had to do this tonight, but I don't know if Tex remembers going to the Safari Club at the hotel there.
Was that WCW? Or was that in WWF?
It started in WCW. We went there
Yeah,
both
remember?
times.
We would go there with Wyndham and the Road Warriors and to that
Yeah.
Italian place.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we
So
spent a
we
lot
got
of time there.
Yeah. Hammerjacks. was up
Hammerjack. Dude, that's right. Oh, we saw Pearl Jam when they were first starting out.
Wow.
That's
In
right.
in like 89, 90. Yeah.
Nice. So, Mark, you were actually thinking about Baltimore today. You're reminiscing about the past. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Some stuff we talk.
Mhm.
Always had a good time in Baltimore, though.
Yeah.
Dennis, I know you're very happy apparently to be going back to Baltimore. A lot of shows there, a lot of roots, great wrestling fans.
That was one of the first, like when we started in WCW, Baltimore was like one of the first big towns that we would fly to. So it was kind of like one of our first like away from Atlanta trips. So it was always cool. Remember, we always had to get the blood pressure. It was the only place that we always had to get blood pressure and all the doctor stuff out of the way. And no blood. Oh, remember? I think it was Vader and Sting, and Vader got cut. Oh, it was the world title match, and Vader got busted open accidentally, and they came down and stopped the whole thing like 2 minutes into the match.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were
Damn.
bitches.
Tough commission in Baltimore.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the reasons why they didn't like going there back then. I mean, it loosened up a lot.
Well, the Celeb Fest always has some, big stuff going on, and obviously Baltimore is a hot place and a hot town for wrestling. It's always been a hotbed for wrestling. Mark, it's funny when you told me, "Oh, get in touch with Tex." Is that always what it is? He's still Tex Lassinger to you from all those years ago?
His son calls me Uncle Tex.
Yeah, it's always been Tex. People always ask, "Who's Tex?" I said, "Well, I'm Dennis, Phineas."
Yeah. I was at Undertaker's birthday show in Vegas, and he was up on stage and he was telling stories, and he kept like looking down at me and saying Tex and everything, and then like about halfway through, he had to let everybody know who he was actually talking about.
That is great, though. I mean, Tex Lassinger, right? I mean, what a cool name from 1992, 1991. It's awesome.
Actually, 88, 89, Robert Fuller called me or gave me the name Tex Lassinger or some other thing with the S. And then I went up there for the dark match in Atlanta the night I met Mark there, and Dusty just continued calling me Tex and changed the last name a little bit. That was about it. So that's what everybody knows me as.
And Mark, I know recently on the indie scene, kind of in your area, my buddy Preston Quinn, he was doing a bit of a Shanghai Pierce gimmick. So I mean, Shanghai is still going after all these years. It seems like.
Yeah, he's actually got a pair of the first Shanghai boot, Texas Shanghai boots. He's got them. He wears them when he does that gimmick. I still have my all we went to after that. So, I had a good time with Tex and Shanghai. That was.
You still have your mask?
But it was a great experience.
Do you still have the mask?
I have one somewhere. The black with the red mouth.
Yeah.
What an interesting gimmick. I remember when I used to go, the bars when you're 21, and I used to joke around that I was Tex Slazenger, and then my buddy would say, "Yeah, no, my name is Shanghai Pierce," just because it's such an awesome name. Not that you guys were the World Tag Team Champions, but it was such a funny gimmick. It's such awesome names.
Dusty gave us them.
Dusty.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dusty gave us that name. He was a big fan. The gunfight of the OK Corral. He loved the original Western. So Tex Slazenger and Shanghai were cattlemen in the movie. So that's where we got our names from.
Oh, that's awesome. Dennis, it's so funny. Like when you look at it, though, you guys didn't really have a tag team name, right? He just gave you Tex Slazenger and Shanghai Pierce. That's it, right?
You want to take that one, Mark?
No, he said you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we didn't have a name, but Jesse Ventura called us the Texicans, and that was kind of a maybe like not a real name, but that's what everybody started calling us. So it worked. I mean, we might not have been the world champions, but we were working with the Horsemen every night, and Steamboat and Douglas and Bagwell and Scorpion, and Jesus Christ, everybody. At 20, I was like 21, 22, and Mark was like 48, I think. Yeah.
Oh, he's giving his finger. Oh, damn.
I can't see. He's so small. I'm turning it. No, does it turn?
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Mark, did you always have a good relationship with Dusty?
Oh, we love Dusty. We used to go out to Dustin's house when him and Terry were married, and Dusty would come over. So me and Tex always sat under the learning tree.
Yeah,
but it would just be us. Me and Tex, girlfriend. We weren't married, so we hung out all the time. We'd go out to Steve's house, Stone Cold.
Yeah,
there we'd go to Dustin's. We all, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Mark froze. When I first started in Florida, I went to Steve Kern's school. Steve Kern and Mike Graham were running the territory, and Dusty was the booker. So Dusty gave me my first job there, and then he gave me my second one in WCW. I went to South Atlantic with Robert Fuller around 89, 90. That was Nasty Boys, Vince Torelli. Do you know who that is?
Ken Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock, yeah. Yeah, so we were so lucky to be bouncing around with all, at our very young, I mean, we were both only in the business like a year or two, and then we're thrown into this, and we were basically just, he was working with Watts, and they liked him, and they were going to put him with somebody else, and then I came up, Bob Cook, if you're watching. And then I came up and had a dark match, and Dusty got up from Gorilla, went all the way around the thing and introduced us and put us together. And from that night on, we were inseparable. Yeah.
Mark,
I know why you're smiling.
Mark, did you want to work with this young green guy at this point? Did you want to work with him?
Oh shit, we were like peanut butter and jelly right off the bat, so I knew it was going to be going to be good. It was going to be hell of a ride.
Yeah, shit. 30. What is it now? 92 to 22. So 31, 32 years. Yeah, never an argument. Never even a disagreement.
Yeah.
1%, very, very fortunate.
1%.
The what?
Similar psychology.
1%.
Oh yeah.
I was actually talking to Steve.
He's up in the mountains. He's in the middle of the woods. That's why he's.
He's in West Virginia, the middle of nowhere in West Virginia.
West by God, Virginia. That's where I went to college.
Really? Wow.
That's right. Yeah, got a football scholarship. Yeah, Salem. Nice. And then completely destroyed my shoulder like 6 weeks into it, and they said that I couldn't play football anymore, so there was really no reason to stay. So came home and became a wrestler.
And I was just talking to Steve Kern yesterday. He mentioned you that you were one of his top trainees because he was going through all like the big names at Dennis Knight when he started naming all the guys he trained.
He's the best. I was just talking to him a few days ago too. He sent me a picture that Drew McIntyre had put up of Drew reading Steve's book, and Steve sent me a picture, and he was like, "Oh, look how nice this is." So I texted Drew and I told him, and he was like, "Oh man, that guy's the best," and everything. He's another one that just no one has anything bad to say about. He's one of the best. I love him.
Even CM Punk is at his house hanging out. You know what I mean? And Punk doesn't like a lot of people, so I mean that's right there.
Likes me. Did you ever meet him, Mark?
Who's that?
Punk.
Yeah.
They do,
yeah.
I met him after we left WWE, and I went to a TNA show with Road Dogg, and I met him and his wife, Beth Phoenix, at the time. Well, I don't know if they were married, but they were together.
Yeah.
And now, she's the best, too. She's awesome. Her and Edge are like, I love them. I want them to adopt me. I told her that.
Yeah, Mark, you spent a little bit of time in OVW. You were almost, or was it Deep South or OVW when you were kind of coming back?
OVW.
Was that Cornette?
For a little while, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you doing that to train to come back and wrestle, or were you going to be an actual like trainer down there?
No, I was trying to get the rust off, and they put me and Terry Gordy's son together because Tex had left, and he said he was done with it, so it just wasn't the same, When you got chemistry with somebody for all them years, and then you don't have it, it's discouraging.
Yeah, I relate. Finally, when I hooked up with Viscera, I finally had that chemistry with somebody, and yay! Just kidding. But it was. I did a lot of the Mideon stuff and everything, but from our very first time together, it was just like we literally. We had Jody Hamilton.
Oh, Dennis froze now. Surprised.
He froze.
Yeah, you had frozen before.
We're back.
Oh, good. Okay, he's back.
Are we? I can't hear anyone. There we go.
Yes, he's back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Where are you at next door, boy?
I'm down by the hog pen.
The mountains, too.
Oh, yeah. That happens here in Clearwater. Yeah, there's a storm coming. It's like windy as hell. It's like freezing. It's down to like 70s.
That's freezing. Shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
What were you saying though, Dennis? You were getting a good thought going there.
What were we talking about?
Like chemistry and things things in the business. Like
I didn't do very good in chemistry. No, I honestly, I had partners in Florida Championship Wrestling, and I had partners in USWA when I got there and everything. But it literally, it's like a marriage. When you find somebody who is your other half, it's just immediately. And and the great thing was we were in a match. I don't remember who we were wrestling in WCW, and it was like the apron on the mat was like balled up, and I tripped over it and broke my ankle. And we went back. Raven took me out that night, and I'm like, dude, I'm walking around on a broken ankle. He's like, here, take this, you'll be fine. So went to the doctor the next day, and it was broken. And I was like, well, I still got to do this. And luckily we were together, so he could pick up my slack. But I had a big air cast and my boot over top of it. And we were wrestling somebody on TV, and they like went to shoot me off of the ropes, and I like hobbled across and back and took a bump and everything. And then we get in the back, and we're in back center stage, and Bill Watts comes busting through the door screaming. He's like, "What the hell was that?" I'm like, "Oh shit," you know. And then he goes, "Who was it?" It was like Van Hammer or somebody dumb like that. Yeah. And he was like, you don't ever, he's got a broken leg. You know, not like, you know, oh, he shouldn't be wrestling. It's like, you shouldn't shoot him off the ropes. I was like, oh. So we were kind of, you know, made after that. They were really, Ole was good to us. Watts was good to us. Arn, I mean, we just did whatever they said, and, you know, continued to do that for Vince. What are you doing, dog?
Mark, when you went to WWF, you went without Dennis first, right? So when you went there, you kind of got signed by yourself, and then Dennis came later?
Yeah.
Was it always was it always the plan though to be in a tag team, or were you going to be a singles guy, and then eventually they're like, "Oh yeah, you used to team with Dennis"?
It was always meant to be a tag team.
Yeah, they just brought him up, and I was like, cool. I went to Japan with Cactus, and then I went back to USWA with Road Dogg, and then I was at TV in Memphis on a Saturday, and Jamie Dundee and Wolfie were there, and we just, you know, we had a match, and they were just, you know, busting chops. They're like, oh, you're who's gonna pay to see you? You're not just joking around. And Jerry Lawler calls me into his the little office and was like, hey, tomorrow you're getting on a plane and you're going up. We need you to get overalls and a red shirt or some kind of shirt, and you're going up to be, you know, with your partner again. And I was like, cool. So I'm back there, and they're like just ribbing me and all kinds of shit. And then we got to drive all the way back to Nashville, like 200 miles. And so we're like, they're like, you know, we're just razzing each other and everybody. So me and Brian get up to where we're dropping them off. And they said, all right, well, see you tomorrow. And I said, no, you won't. I said, I'm going up to WWE tomorrow. They're like, what? And I was like, see ya. And we pulled away. It was good times. Just busting chops. What are you doing, dog?
So, Mark, what'd you think of the gimmick? The Henry O. Godwinn hog farmer. What'd you think about that gimmick?
I loved it. You know, I went up there and met with Vince and J.J. Dillon, and he asked me what I did, and I told him, and he liked the farming part. He said, what do you do with them hogs? Of course, he's a ridge runner. He's the country boy. But, yeah, I loved it. Everybody
Tell them about
I hate working in the overalls and the boots, but I actually liked it.
Yeah, it was actually way more comfortable than I thought it was. Tell them about where the O came from.
Where what? Oh, the
O came from.
I think it was Vince's grandfather, uncle, somebody. His name was Orpheus. So Henry Orpheus Godwinn. That's how the hog became.
Nice. Look at that. And it goes perfectly. Hog farmer, H-O-G, hog.
Yeah,
what about, obviously, Phineas eye, too?
Yeah, no eye. We never had an eye.
Indigo.
There was never an eye. So we just kind of made up shit over the years. I don't even remember what we came up with.
Ike.
Did you like Did you like that gimmick though, Dennis? Did you like Phineas?
And you're gone again. And we're back again. And we're gone again.
No, you're back.
There
I got you.
We're back. My house is haunted, so that might have something to do with it.
Oh, damn.
Well, everything I have is haunted. Here, look at this. I got this picture. Let's see if you can see it. This picture was at an antiques and oddity store, and it was like one of the only things that ever gave me like chills, and like I was like, well, I don't know about that. So I told the guy to hold it, and then I came back like a year later, and he was like, oh, remember that picture? And I was like, yeah. He goes, oh, well, we lost it, and then we found it. And I was like, oh, well, that's a sign. So that just added to all my other haunted and weird shit. When I went to Vegas a couple weeks ago for Taker's thing, I went to the Zach Baggins Museum out there. Do you know the Ghost Adventures guy?
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. Oh my God. I did the VIP thing. There was only like 3 of us, and they recognized me, so they like were. I pretty much had like free reign of the place. It was awesome. I got touched in one room, but that was about it. Nothing else happened. Boo.
When you go back to Phineas, like, did you like that gimmick or not? I mean, it fits Henry Godwinn, but does it fit you? Did you like it? Yeah.
Dude, I am born and raised in Clearwater Beach, Florida. Spent my whole life here, and then I was a Texan, and then I was an Arkansas pig farmer, and then I was a satanic disciple. So basically, whatever that, it didn't matter to me as long as we were out there and having fun. I could do whatever they want, and then naked for a little while. So basically, whatever they wanted, we did. I had no problem with it, and I was back with him, so that was even better.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, when you guys are the Godwinns, obviously 2-time former WWF Tag Team Champions, so they did put you guys in a good spot as far as tag teams. But feuding with the LOD, I felt like was a huge spot because obviously one of the most famous tag teams of all time. Did you like working with them? And I know you had your neck injured at one point. Was that something that caused some heat with the LOD and you?
No, it it happened. I didn't want to do them, and I didn't stooge nobody out that night. But
yeah, he really didn't want to do it. He said, "I don't know." I'd never heard him say that. He said, "I don't want to do this." And who was it? It was like Lanza and Briscoe or somebody, or Pat.
Pat.
Yeah.
Because Tex even said, "Hey, I've taken it. I'll do it." And they said, "No, the office wants Henry to do it." But I knew the state Hawk was in, so I felt uncomfortable. But I didn't say nothing. But it happened, so can't do nothing about it now.
Yeah. Hey, hell, you did that, and then we turned bad, and then we went to Southern Justice. I mean, you wrestled for how long?
7 weeks with a broken neck.
7 weeks with a broken neck.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the night that I flew, the night they sent me home to have the spinal fusion done, we were supposed to get the belts for a 3rd time against Billy and Brian.
Wow,
Yeah.
never knew that. Well, interesting. So that kind of obviously that neck injury, I mean, that threw you for a loop in more ways than one. Crazy.
Yeah.
It
What
ain't
happened?
Our
valid.
history.
Yeah.
What happened though? I know Animal always does that thing where he kind of helps the guy get the rotation, but what happened?
Hawk just didn't hit me right with enough force, and I mean, I don't know. I asked to just go down like they used to do,
That's what they should have done is electric chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you're maybe too big to be taking that type of bump? You know what I mean? The electric chair is fine, but like the way Animal does it, you're probably too big.
Yeah, we're too big. Even some of the other boys said after that we shouldn't be doing that with, we're both like 6'7", so 300 pounds.
Basically just do whatever they tell us. I only said no to one thing in my entire career is when they wanted Big Show, when I was Mideon, they wanted Big Show, not long after he had gotten there, still very green. They wanted him to press me and walk over to the ropes and throw me from the ring into the aisleway. And I'm like, I was going to do it. And then Taker said, you should not do that. There's no way in hell you should do that. So that was the only time I said no.
Sounds like it might be a little dangerous. Right? It might be a little dangerous.
Yeah, well, I mean, hell, look at Draws and D'Lo, I mean, hell, I've taken that move. Everybody's taken that move. It just, if it's your time, it's going to happen, I guess.
Man, though,
Yeah.
that's one of the things where I guess it's good to have Undertaker as a, not only your buddy, but a good
Yeah.
locker room leader there.
Oh yeah, he squashed a couple things for us too. I can't remember the other thing was.
All those
What was
signings and the radio stations.
Oh my God! When we were the Godwinns, the good guy Godwinns, we had the record. They would fly us into a town, and then we would do like a 6 a.m. radio show, and then an 8 a.m., and then a 9 a.m., and then go somewhere else, and then to the building, and then wrestle, and then we would do the signings at the building. They were just running us raw, and we had come in from somewhere. I think we were in Long Island or something, and we were just like dragging. We just walked into the locker room and just dropped our stuff and literally sat down. And then somebody came in and was like, "Oh, I need the Godwinns. We've got a signing." And we looked at each other and we started to stand up. And Mark threw him out of the locker room. He said, "Find somebody else." Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I
So
like that.
we had a one-man power trip.
Mark, what's the relationship like with Taker through the years? I mean, always been buddies, always been BSK for life?
Oh yeah. When I went up there, I was with I started riding with Jeff, traveling with Jeff, and then Road Dogg come up, and then I don't know, something happened one night. They talked about it at the round table. He asked me to ride with him and Paul, and it was such a good rib on Paul that old Puss in Boots. So I just sort of grew on him, and
he was so grumpy
between the seats. But yeah. Hey, our whole clique, we all been through a lot together, and a lot of stuff we did for each other, and we can't talk about, and some stuff we can. But it's always been a good brotherhood.
The thing was, back then, we were together. What would we do? 260, 280 days a year on the road. So, I mean, we were together without cell phones, without computers. So it was basically just us in a car. And I remember, I think we were in WCW or something when we rented a town car, and it was the first time that we ever had a rental car with a CD player. That's how old we are. We were like so excited. Before that, we would go to the truck stops and get all the old country cassette tapes and everything. And oh my God. Yeah. I would love to have a game show where you take like some current talent right now that's like come up in the last 15 years, and then like have them try to do like 2 weeks on the road, like 90s style with no GPS. We had a big map. We had a cassette player. You would drive to the town. You would find the sign on a gas station, and you would say, "Hey, where's this building at, or where's that building?" That was good. Except for in the little towns when we were in WCW, where we would like spend an hour just going up a mountain. And then there's this like high school on the top of a mountain in like Arab, Alabama. And you're like, holy crap.
Alabama town.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it was a different world. And boy, did they, I mean, this is 92. So, I mean, they still kind of believed it. And oh man, they hated us, especially when we would choke out Steamboat and like drag him off the thing. And then, Shane has to fight us by himself, and then Steamboat comes back. God, he's coming somewhere. My brother just sent me a thing down here. I don't even know if he lives here. I haven't seen Ricky in forever, man.
He lives 45 minutes from Shane.
Oh, does he? Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how lucky was that?
Just out of Knoxville.
Yeah, he's the best. He's another one that you'll never hear anything bad about.
Yep, that's so right. Funny.
Yeah, I remember the nicest guy.
Oh, the nicest guy, and I knew that we were over with him when he made he made a joke. We were somewhere, and we were at the hotel bar, and I had met a fan. and took her up to my room. And then the next day they're like, I was like, oh, dude, she got up there and passed out. So I just left her and I went back down to the bar. And then Steamboat like was browbeating me for like, he goes like, oh, why didn't you just pay for her rent-a-car too? I'm like, I don't know. What was I supposed to do? Throw her out? Oh, when Ricky starts riding you about stuff, you know you're okay.
Yeah, for sure. Love that. Now, Dennis, though, what about Undertaker? I mean, we're saying BSK, history with him. You're saying you're just hanging out with him in Vegas. What about the longtime friendship and history with Taker?
Yeah, that was Mark there. That was Cantebury. I had come up, like I said, a year after he had been there. And I mean, we had all the guys that we knew, you know, Kevin and Regal and Austin and everybody from WCW,
Hunter.
but yeah, and Hunter, and he had been riding with Mark and everything. So I walked in, and Yoko and Papa and Savio and all them just kind of took me in. So it was like,
you remember?
Yeah. My BSK initiation night, we were in some little, I have no idea where we were, what town, but it was some little town, and it was all of us. And Yoko and them were like, oh, well, let's initiate him tonight. And my initiation was I had to drink an entire bottle of Jack Daniels. And I was like, oh, well, what they didn't know is back in our WCW days, I was drinking a bottle of Wild Turkey like 2-3 times a week. So it wasn't really that big of a deal. Oh my God. I couldn't even imagine doing that. Now at the Undertaker show, he brought Godfather up on stage because we were in Vegas and they had a bottle of Jack there, and Godfather just kept pouring him drinks. So those two drank an entire bottle in about 30 minutes, and they were just shit-faced. We were supposed to go out afterwards. Taker was passed out in his dressing room. Godfather was in a wheelchair. He had just had hip surgery. So we were wheeling him around in that. That Tracy Murray was there. D'Lo was there. I can't remember who else was there. But it was hilarious. Yeah. I mean, you know, it just been, and then like when Mark was in Atlanta or Nashville, then he was moving down here to me. So I helped him move down here. And then him and his wife, when they split up, he moved in with me for about 8-9 months. And yeah, I mean, shit, we just all been close ever since, you know, just people you got together with and you knew, you know, I mean, like Mark said, there's stuff we can't talk about, but you know, I know what these guys would do for me if I needed them, and they know what I would do for them. So it's just kind of like, I think a lot of the friends now are kind of like fair weather friends, you know, we're like, it's kind of like in wrestling where you see somebody all the time and then you're gone for a while and then you come back and it's like, you know, you never left. Well, we've all kind of stuck together. I mean, we have a BSK chain that we talk on like every few days, all of us. So it's just good friends that you know will have your back always and have.
Mark, did you have an initiation, or were you like the leader?
I think I was the only one that got initiated.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think I
was there when it started. I remember it. And Yoko walking into that bar that night and he said, BSK in the house, bitches. That's what he said. So it just stuck that night.
Well, and the night we won the tag team titles, remember they were all at the curtain at the Garden, and they were like, BSK.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just kind of stupid. Yeah. Kind of stupid college shit. But I mean, hell, we didn't have computers or phones or nothing, so we had to entertain ourselves. So pretty much how it happened.
Mark,
we did have those pagers that Godfather got us from Vegas.
Yeah.
We had
fucking pagers. You still got one, don't you? You still use it. Oh shit.
Mark, did BSK party more than everyone else, or equal, or what's you know, as far as drinking and stuff and hanging out?
Oh my God. Yeah, we were definitely the drinking bunch. I always like telling this story when we were overseas, like at a hotel in a nice bar at the hotel we're staying at. Yoko would buy a fifth of Jack, and it would be like $70, $75 over there for a fifth of Jack in Germany. And he would take the cap off and he'd throw it in the wastebasket, and that means you have to drink the whole bottle before we get up from the table.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, you know, I mean, me and Mark are different in a way. Everybody kind of had their own little cliques, and we definitely had ours. But one night we're out, you know, with Yoko and Taker and everything. And then the next night we're with Sean and Kevin and Hunter. I mean, we rode with Hunter and China a lot.
A lot, yeah.
We were the social butterflies.
What about the Kliq, though, Dennis? So, was there heat with BSK and Kliq? Because you always see those stories, but are they actually true?
None whatsoever. Yeah, that's what I was saying. We traveled with Hunter a lot. We traveled with Sean. Sean liked to have us around when Kevin wasn't there, as you can imagine why. Because Sean would need somebody to either take him back to. Oh my God, we've undressed him and put him to bed so many times. Oh my God, you look like you were possessed there for a second. Yeah,
he might have been.
He was. Yeah, no, we traveled with you know, and then Jeff and Brian, and in Atlanta, God, we
Kevin.
lived in this. Yeah, this is a great.
Probably with Kevin.
Yeah. We lived in this apartment building in Marietta, outside of Atlanta, and it was our apartment, and mostly everybody came to our apartment to party because everybody else had their family there. We had Regal and his family. Right next door to us was Sid. Kevin was upstairs. Rick Rude. Mark tells this great story. Rude would go to walk the dog and tell his wife, "Oh, I'm going to walk the dog." Or was it Kevin? I thought it was Rude. Yeah, or Rude would come say he was going to the gym and come over. They would all come over to our house and just get high. Kevin would come down with the dog and get high and forget to take the dog out. And then, like, after about an hour, he goes back home. And the dog shits in the middle of the floor immediately. She's like, "What the hell?" He was like, "Oh, I don't know what happened." Oh, man. Yeah.
Did he walk the dog? What the hell happened?
She told him one night, "Take the damn dog down before you go to Tex and Shangai."
Yeah, that was Oz time. Oh man, could you imagine a TV show from that? We shouldn't say this, but we were shooting guns off of the roof of the building. We would get fucked up, and Road Dogg would be in the apartment, and we would like roll around and play cops and robbers in the house with our guns. Just stupid shit.
Loaded.
But we're here. Loaded. Yeah.
You guys are nuts, but that was the business, right? A lot of those guys are nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. What were we gonna do? Play video games? Yeah. I mean, shit. All of our friends that aren't here. I mean, I wouldn't say that they did more shit than us. It was just, I don't know, man. Like I said, with the injuries, when it's your time, I guess. So we might as well have fun while we're here.
You know what amazed me about like just BSK, but really that WWF roster anyway? Like Mark, when I met you a few years ago, I was like, wow, you're actually even somehow taller than I thought. Like Godfather is gigantic, Undertaker's gigantic, Yokozuna is big, JBL obviously away from the BSK, but JBL is huge. Duke the Dumpster Drosy is big. I mean, that era of guys at WWF were all monsters.
Yeah, big boy. I mean, you had Vader, Yoko, Spivey. I mean, everybody was tall and big.
We were 6'7", 300 pounds, and that was average for the time. That was the average size. Yeah. It's like, oh my God. And Ken, speaking of that, I just got this. Okay, look at this. You were talking about the crew. I found this old WCW matches.
I love those. Yeah.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky, the Christian County High School, April 24th, 1993. Main event, Scorpio and Bagwell versus Pillman and Austin. Johnny B. Bad versus me. Van Hammer versus Vinny Vegas. Z-Man and Johnny Gunn versus Bobby Eaton and Chris Benoit. Steve Regal versus Shanghai. And Robbie V, better known as RVD, versus the Barbarian. That was the B town in some little fucking high school in Kentucky.
Loaded.
Talk about a crew. Yeah.
Loaded. Wow. Yeah. Awesome guys on that card. Damn.
Yeah.
And
All
you got some good collectibles there. You got some good
Oh
stuff,
my God.
man.
My brother luckily doesn't lose anything and he keeps all the shit for me. I get him like when I would go to like when we went to Mania last year, I brought some. He collects the Pop Funkos, and I brought a bunch of them. Got Edge and Drew and Taker and Kane and everybody to sign them. And he's got tickets from like our first. He's got tickets from when we were like, oh my God, 10, 11 at the St. Pete Bayfront Center when Dusty Rhodes beat Harley Race for the world title. We were there.
Wow.
So we grew up on NWA Florida here. I mean, we would go to the Sportatorium. I've got a picture of me getting an autograph from Steve Kern and Mike Graham when I was like 12 years old. Just awesome shit. I think you were starting at that time, weren't you, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. You were retired. You were on your last retirement tour.
I was a veteran then.
Yeah, you were.
Dennis, you were probably scared of Kevin Sullivan back then.
Kevin was my stepdad. Ron Slinker wrestled back in the old days and everything. Yeah, him and my mom. Well, I was going through wrestling school. They met and got married, and so that kind of helped me out too. So I remember going to the Bahamas. We would do the Bahamas once a month for my first kind of away from Florida tour. I went there, and Kevin Sullivan and Luna took care of me. I mean, I was 19 years old, and Luna like grabbed me and she was like, "He's mine." Because she said, "Nobody fuck with him," in that Luna voice. She was just awesome. Yeah, Luna. God, Blackjack Mulligan, the bull rope with the cowbell that we carried all through WCW. My second TV when they made me a cowboy, Blackjack took me out to his truck and said, "You're a Texan now. You're going to need this." And he opened up the back of his truck and he gave me, just happened to have a bull rope with a cowbell. And I still have that. I found a bag. I told him about this. I found a bag that I didn't even know I had. It's an old WCW bag that we got when we met Ted Turner. Yeah. And inside of it is my first Tex and Shangai gear with my boots, my first pair of overalls, and my red long johns that we won the titles in, the bull rope, and my only airbrushed Mideon shirt that I have left. I only made 3 of them, and there's only 1 left. So everything, like my whole career, was in that bag, and I totally didn't even know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome, some of that
It
stuff.
was very awesome. The guy from Detroit, Godfather's friend, tried to buy it from me.
Yeah.
You wouldn't sell it?
No, I could. I mean, I lose shit, and just the fact that I have a Tex, a Godwin, and a Mideon all together in a bag, there was no way. My family wouldn't let me get rid of it anyway.
What about the Naked Mideon fanny pack? Do you still have that?
I do still have that. Some people have asked about that. My mom took that when I was done. Yeah.
Why the hell was it Naked Mideon? I always wanted to ask you why. I mean, it's hilarious, but why?
Okay. All right. Here goes the story. When we were in the locker room after Mark had gotten hurt and everything, and I was doing the Mideon thing, Kurt Angle would come back from his matches and take off his gear and stand there in a towel and go take a shower and stand there in his towel for like another 45 minutes. So he was like the naked man. He just kind of hung around naked. And I said one day, don't anybody tell him this, but I'm going to beat him. I was, of course, like first or second match. And he was like semi-main or main event. So I came back from my match. I took my gear off. I put a towel on and I just hung around the locker room until his match. And then he came back and he hung out for a little bit and he went in, took a shower, came back out, and then he pulled his underwear on and I dropped my towel and I said, "I am the naked champion. I won." And everybody laughed. And then Lanza opens the door and say, "We need somebody for a meet and greet." And I was like, okay. So I just threw on my fanny pack and I walked out the door and they were like, no, get back in there. And, just joking around. So then the next day I get to TV and they're like, "Vince wants to see you." I'm like, oh, okay. I knew I didn't do anything wrong, so it wasn't bad. So he goes, I heard you were walking around in a fanny pack last night. I was like, yeah, it was a Kurt thing. And he goes, I don't care. We're having you do it tonight. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, we're going to have you walk down the stairs, run down the stairs in a fanny pack, through the ring and out. And I was like, okay. I mean, everybody was like, oh, I can't believe, why would you do that? I'm like, dude, I'm spending 15, 20 minutes a night at house shows getting my head kicked in by Vader and Cactus and all these guys. And I'm making the exact same amount of money just to run through the ring in a fanny pack. I was like, I will take that money for however long that took. I mean, I only did it for like 8 months. And like, that's all everybody asked me about.
Mark, you love that gimmick, Naked Mideon?
No. You want to see my kitty cat? Gemma, come here.
It wouldn't have fit me.
I've got one of those like the seat extenders, like Paul Bearer used to have to get on the plane. We can do that for you.
Yeah.
Say hi to kitty cat. Okay, she don't want to play. Nah, she didn't want to play.
So basically, it was almost like a rib by Vince, kind of in a way.
Oh yeah, he loved doing that, especially back then. Before cell phones and computers, we had to entertain ourselves. One day, I don't know if I've ever told this story. One day, I'm in catering, and it was after Mark had left. Me and Road Dogg were somewhere on the road, and we found this little like remote control keychain thing that had a little about the size of like a key fob now, but it was a speaker and it made fart noises. And oh my God, Vince's fart stories are just legendary. So we're in the cafeteria playing around with it, and he comes over and he's like, what's going on? And we showed it to him, and he was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. He goes, put this in your pocket and walk over there and talk to Tori and Ivory, and don't say anything and just pretend like nothing's happening. And he's got the remote control. Vince does. So I'm over there and I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? And he's like, meh, meh. He just keeps hitting it. And for like 2 minutes, I tried to hold it, but then I just lost it and I ran back over. Oh my God. Children.
So he's a big
we
ribber.
He's
just like a big kid.
God. He was. Back then, he used to go out with us to the bars. We would, especially overseas trips and stuff like that. But, then when all the no fun guys came along, he kind of had to be the boss again, I guess.
Who are some of the no fun guys?
Oh, just the newer generation of the chicken breast and video games and don't go out partying guys. Yeah, they kind of started coming in towards the end. Oh my God, I can't even think of some now. I was gonna say, like Eddie and yeah. Oh, gone. But now it's all of them, so I guess it's got to be a business. And I know Vince is having a lot less fun, although he's not really doing anything now, or is he? We don't know. That's the big thing, right?
No, he's back. He's back in.
Yeah,
back in
he wasn't at the last Raw, but he was remotely sending stuff. I know that.
Yes,
but I mean, shit. I know it's like the stories are better with Hunter and everything. I agree, but I mean, Vince is 70 something years old, but back in the 90s and shit, when everything was going, like when Austin was coming up and all that, we just, we all had fun. It was, because it was like the greatest job in the world, and we were surrounded by our friends, and there was no video cameras around or nothing. So it was just fun.
Mark, what's your relationship like with Triple H, and how was it through the years? It seems like you and Triple H were kind of married to each other for a little bit, and it seems like you guys always got along really well.
We always got along. We didn't get to hang out with him that much, I don't think, in WCW, but
no, he came right in.
Yeah, after a while, I was up there just 2 or 3 months, and he was too, and then they just threw us together. And we were married, for like 6 months. He was a trooper. He took the slop every night. I remember he'd have to wash his stuff out every night, hang it up in the hotel room. But, we always had good chemistry together.
Look what he did in the hog pen match with you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
We always teased him that I scarred him for life because he got 15 stitches.
And an infection from the pig shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like those matches though, Mark? Because those were, I don't know, as a fan, it's just like, what are they doing here? Like embarrassing Triple H, I guess, in a way. Like, did you like those matches?
I loved it. Yeah, it was awesome, man.
There's only
He
one.
played up to it. The Englishman, the prim and proper, and
Blue blood.
It was easy. Yeah.
Hunter's the best, yeah. Hunter's the only person that ever took the mule kick. He was like, oh, I want to do this. And you come up and go for the mule kick. And I was like, dude, I can't see it and I can't control it. He's like, just do it. He goes, I'll be there. And I did it one time and he took a bump on it. So Hunter's the best. Hunter's awesome.
Not a big drinker, right? Or a partier?
None whatsoever. Really? Yeah.
Why
he was a cigarette?
Yeah, he was all-time designated driver.
Oh, no wonder you love him so much. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, for us and John.
There was one night he went out with all of us, and he didn't do that anymore.
Yeah, well, this is a great Triple H story. He didn't really drink. He didn't take pills. He didn't do really anything. We're in I have no idea where we were, and we were riding. It was us. It was me and Mark and Hunter in China. And we were at this hotel in the middle of nowhere, and Hunter messed his back up really bad. And the only thing was a Subway in the lobby for food. So we're like away from everybody, all by ourselves, and he's like really hurting. So we're like, hey, dude, take some of these. It'll make you feel better. And he tells the story. It's so funny. He's like, we're sitting there eating, and he's like, I look over at Tex, and he's got food coming out of his mouth, and he goes, and then I turned to Mark to say something, and I was like, and he was like, oh, I can see why you guys like these. Yeah. So that was the only time I'd ever seen him impaired.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always hear stories that he's the the DI or whatever DD designated driver. He doesn't really.
Look at him.
Yeah. Always had aspirations to being the boss, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or marrying the boss's daughter, son of a bitch. She was mine first. Just kidding. I did ask her out. I was the first one to ever ask her out.
Yeah.
Stephanie.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. She said that her dad. I said, hey, what the hell was it? It was some dumb. I love these like romantic movies, and I'm a huge girl. And it was like the Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan one where he was an angel. And we were in the town for 2 days. I was like, hey, I said, do you want to go see a movie? She goes, oh, I'd love to, but my dad doesn't let me, go out with any of the guys or anything. And I was like, oh, okay, no problem. I then like years later, her and Hunter. So she was mine first. Just kidding.
Damn,
she was awesome. I loved her. I did, right? I could be running that place. God, could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, I took the culinary route and never looked back. Very happy.
Now, Mark, with you and obviously your career in the WWF or WB, really, the neck injury kind of just ended it for you, basically.
Yeah, it was a big chunk of it.
And then remember, you got sand in your pussy.
Yeah, in my crack.
Yeah.
And then I lost my son in 2003, and it just sort of compounded and kept piling up and was not good.
Yeah. And then the accident.
Yeah, and then my wreck. Almost died.
Oh my God.
Died twice.
Yeah, he was trapped in his car for how long?
Hour and 10 minutes.
Man, in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia.
Wow, lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blessed to be alive.
Blessed.
Yeah, for sure. Dennis, with you and then you're okay with no more Godwinns wrestling? I know obviously doing convention stuff, but
do you ever want to get back in? Not to wrestle. No. I mean, I wanted to manage Liv Morgan. That would be my dream comeback job if I ever had to. But I did. I mean,
hey,
yeah, right. I was like I said, I started when I was 19. Started with Dusty and them, and then went to WCW, working with the Horsemen and Steamboat every night, and then WWF with the Road Warriors. I went like 17 years with basically, I mean, luckily I'd never had any real injuries. So I was like just on the road for that entire time. And I was like, I want to not have to travel anymore. You know, that was the hardest part. The 20 minutes in the ring every night was the best part. It was the hour and a half flight, and then you get in the car and drive for 3 hours, and then you're at the building for 4 hours, and then you wrestle, and then you get back in the car and you drive to another town. Just the travel schedule back then was just brutal. And now everybody's got tour buses, so
yeah, it makes it a lot easier. My God.
Yeah. But it makes it easier, but they don't have the same kind of stuff we did because we had all that time in the arena and in the dressing room. Nobody had their own dressing room except for Warrior, and that didn't last long. And we would just hang around, and we would hang around at night. And now we go, like, we went to Mideon for Taker's Hall of Fame 2 years ago. And after the first night, we really wanted to leave. We were going to leave and come home. It's just a different world. Nobody is with nobody. Everybody is just kind of off in their own little world.
Was it too boring for you guys?
Boring. Just that camaraderie in the locker room and all that wasn't there anymore. It's a
feeling.
Yeah, it's a different world. A different world.
As we start to wind down here, we head towards the finish. Got to mention again, of course, Baltimore Celeb Fest, May 21st.
There you go.
Awesome picture. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that was Slammy's with Rikishi.
Slammy Awards.
Yeah.
Slammy Awards, yeah.
Nice, yes. Got to mention the Baltimore Celeb Fest on May 21st. Of course, David Hughes Promotions, going to see you guys. What else? What's next for the Godwinns besides this big show in Baltimore? What else is next? You guys going to be doing anything else?
The week before, we're in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee for Heroes and Legends. Be a bunch of people there.
Yeah.
But
that's where his son lives.
Yeah, that's where my son Shane lives. So we'll hang out with him, and then the next week we're in Baltimore, and hopefully we get some of them old hardcore Baltimore fans we used to have come out.
Nice, yes. Does Shane wrestle, by the way? Because isn't he's just as big as you are, right? Does he wrestle?
Bigger. Hell, he's bigger.
Yeah, he wrestled for a year for Vince down in Florida, but he came back home, and I'm glad he's doing good.
Yeah, he's 6'8". He was like 3 something.
340.
Yeah,
wow.
340.
Holy shit. Wow.
Big boy.
Nice. Is there anywhere to follow you guys, social media or otherwise, or anywhere for the fans to kind of see where you're up to or connect with you guys, or do you guys do a lot of social media?
Instagram. Yeah.
Godwin.
I made mine really hard for people to find. It's Dennis Knight 1313 Real MF Mideon. And Rikishi and Godfather are like, what the hell are you doing? Nobody's gonna find you. I'm like, yeah, they've got to work to find me. You know, if they want to find me, they'll find me. But yeah, you know, we're on that. Basically, that's about it. Just doing our shit. Sitting here with the cat. Right, kitty cat?
Love the BSK shirt. I love the BSK shirt. Getting a lot of good feedback on it.
Isn't it awesome? Do you have it right there? Show him. Or is it in the laundry? You like mine?
It's in the wash.
You like my shirt?
Godwinns Farm. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I got some BSK shirts made with like it's got a pink, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre pig's head with BSK carved in the forehead of it. Because we all got our own. Rikishi made his first, and it's kind of like a university kind of shirt. It's got the logo on the chest, and on the back it says Bone Street Crew established 1996. and then Godfather made one, and then Undertaker made his, and I made one for us, and now we just need Savio to get one. But
Yeah.
Awesome.
any of you guys want to buy them, just DM us on our Instagram.
All right, good stuff. Awesome stuff. BSK still alive and well after all these years. I love it. Very good.
Yeah.
But Mark and Dennis, aka Henry and Phineas, aka Tex and Shanghai, thank you so much for all the time. Really appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate it. Look at that. You're almost 4, 3, 2, 1. Exactly an hour. Good time.